Hello dear students, welcome to Hemlata Patil's online classes. Today we begin new chapter of civics, that is chapter number 3, features of the constitution. Dear students, in the last two chapters we studied what is constitution. Please, can you tell what is constitution? Yes, very good. Constitution is the book in which all the provisions regarding governance of a country are mentioned together in a systematic way. In the second chapter, we studied about preamble. Can you tell what is preamble? Yes, very good. Preamble is the prefix to the Constitution of India. It sets out the objectives of the Indian state. Today we are going to learn the characteristic features of our constitution. Let us start. First characteristic feature, that is federalism. Do you know what is the meaning of federalism? Please. System of the national government in which power is divided between central authority and a number of regions. Dear students, federal system is one of the important features of our constitution. In countries with large territories and huge populations, government is run by a federal system. Ruling a large territory from a single capital city is not only difficult but may also lead to the neglect of some far-flung areas. People residing there cannot participate in the affairs of the government. Therefore, governments function at two levels, that is for the whole country and the parts of the country. The government at the center carries out tasks. Task means works like defense of the entire country, foreign policy, establishing peace, etc. And so it is called union government or federal government. It carries out the administration of the entire country. My dear students, please keep in mind, you will be asked the question, give a reason, that is the government function at two levels. So please keep in mind, ruling a large territory from a single capital city, it is difficult, but in the countries with large territories, the countries which has large territories and huge populations, it neglects of some far-flung areas, and the people who were residing there, they cannot participate in the affair of the government. So government function at two levels, that is for the whole country and the parts of the country. The government that oversees the administration of the region that we live in is called state government. Dear students, in the last paragraph we saw that what is meant by union government. Dear students, the government at the center, they carried out the tasks like defense of the entire country, foreign policy, establishing peace. This is called the union government or federal system. Here, please, can you tell me what is state government? The government that oversees, means that looks after the administration of the region where in which we live is called state government. It looks after the administration of a particular state. Example is given here. Government of Maharashtra looks after the administration of the state of Maharashtra. Now, what is federalism or what is meant by federalism? The system of running the administration of a country cooperatively by the governments at two levels, making laws about different subjects is called federalism. In short, the system of running the administration of a country by the governments at two levels, making laws about different subjects is called federalism. Now let us learn about separation of powers. The Constitution has divided the subjects for making laws between the union government and the state governments. Let us see which government is entrusted with what subject. Our Constitution has given three lists of various subjects. First list is union list, second list is state list, and third list is concurrent list. So, dear students, let us learn about this. The first list is called union list. It contains 97 subjects on which the union government makes laws. The state list is for the state governments to legislate upon. It contains 66 subjects. My dear students, please keep in mind how many subjects are contained in which list. So here the first list is union list. There are 97 subjects are contains, and the second list is the state list. It contains 66 subjects. Apart from those two lists, there is concurrent list. There is concurrent list which contains 47 subjects. Both governments can make laws on subjects included in this list. Dear students, apart from these two lists, means here the union list and the state list. Apart from these two, there is one more list, that is concurrent list, in which 47 subjects are contained. And both governments means union governments and state governments can make laws on subjects included in this list. If a subject comes up that is not included in any of the list, the union government is entitled to make laws on it. These powers are termed as judiciary power. So, dear students, what do you understand by residuary powers. Please keep in mind, residuary powers are those subjects which are not included in any of the list. The union government is entitled to make laws on it. Then let us learn the next. Do you know? The division of powers in the Indian Constitution is unique. It enables the union government and the state government to bring about the country's progress by cooperating with each other. This also encourages participation of citizens in the administration of the country. Dear students, please can you tell me why it is said Indian Constitution is unique? So, please listen and remember, the American Constitution consists of only 7 articles. The Indian Constitution has 395 articles. This makes the Indian Constitution the longest in comparison to the Constitution of any other state in the world. American Constitution is the most rigid and the British Constitution is the most flexible. As opposite of these two, the Indian Constitution is neither rigid nor flexible. It is not too difficult nor too easy to amend. So unlike the American Constitution, which provided for dual citizen, India provides single citizenship despite being a federal state. So it is said that Indian Constitution is unique. Now let us learn about who deals with what subjects. Defense, foreign relations, war and peace, currency, international trade. These subjects are related deals with the union government. Then agriculture, law and order, local government, health, prison, administration. These subjects are dealt with the state government. And employment, environment, economic and social planning, personal law, education. These are the subjects which deals with both the governments. Means these subjects are deals with union government as well as state government. So dear students, I hope you understood the part of this chapter. Remaining part of the chapter we will learn in the next video. Dear students, read the lesson carefully. Thank you and have a nice day.